In this video, I'm going to talk about how to become emotionally unavailable. How to become emotionally available, right? How to save your relationship by doing these 10 things to become emotionally available, right? Emotional unavailability, it happens in men and it happens in women, but from what I experience and from what I see, most men are emotionally unavailable, right? So before I get into how to become emotionally available, I will just tell you what is emotionally unavailability means, right? So you could know, well, for the purpose of this video is to help you to know what is emotional unavailability and what is emotional availability, and so you could know if you are emotionally unavailable, right? And then I'm going to give you tips on how to improve or how to become emotionally available, and I'm also going to mention like signs that you are emotionally unavailable and where did this come from, right? um, Emotional unavailability, right? Somebody who is emotionally unavailable is somebody who does not respond to emotional needs of the other person. I'm talking like if you're in a relationship, right, or dating. So emotional unavailability means like you don't respond to the needs of your partner, or you don't respond to the cues or the subtle signs of them giving you hints or them telling you that they need affection, that they need attention, right? It means that you have difficulty expressing your own emotions and you have problems um, relating to other people's emotions, right? Emotional unavailability means like you're not comfortable with your own feelings and you're not comfortable sharing your emotions with others. It means that sometimes you're not present and you're not responsive to other people's emotions or their feelings, right? It's some people might tell you that you're like cold, or you seem standoffish, or you're unconcerned, or you seem self-absorbed, or you sometimes you seem uninterested in what's going on. You may have feedback like that from people. So that's like a sign that you're emotionally unavailable, right? And it's like challenging for you to deal with your own emotions and to talk about your own feelings. So it's like you avoid difficult topics and different situations that involve emotions, that involve emotional expression. So that is emotional unavailability, right? So where did this come from? Well, causes of emotional unavailability, it comes from different places, and one is your childhood, right? And I'm talking about attachment style. I talked about attachment style before in previous videos, right? So attachment style is the interactions, it deals with the interactions you had as a young child with your parents, right? So if you didn't experience adequate responses to your emotional needs, and then you probably developed a avoidant attachment style. So this will make you emotionally unavailable, right? So the interaction with your parents made you become like more independent physically and emotionally, and you just grow up and you have a hard time being intimate with others and relying on others because your parents probably dismissed your emotions at home. Your parents probably didn't show interest in your feelings, or they didn't offer too much emotional support, or they didn't offer too much affection when you were growing up, and that is how you become emotionally unavailable, right? Maybe you were abandoned, you were neglected in some way, or ridiculed as a child, and this could lead to emotional unavailability. Your culture could lead to this, gender differences. Men are taught or they are conditioned while growing up that they should not show their emotions. They shouldn't be emotional, and men are taught to like mask their emotions. So that's like a culture. That's like culture and like gender differences. So that could have made you emotionally unavailable, or you had an unpleasant breakup and more than likely dealt with some sort of infidelity. You got cheated on and you become like this. You have been maybe in some toxic relationship, and or you experience unrequited love or feelings, or you were gaslighted in a relationship for a lot, or maybe you just had a bad breakup and you were grieving and it was a really bad experience and you just now you're emotionally unavailable. So that is like some causes. So emotional unavailability is somebody who is like they're really anxious about being hurt, and they are really afraid of being rejected and controlled, right? So that is another reason why you are emotionally unavailable, right? Yeah, you probably have been exposed to neglect in your childhood, or some sort of abuse, and you have trauma, and now it's just difficult to trust people, and you are emotionally unavailable. So that's the many causes of emotional unavailability. It could happen in men, it could happen in women, but I see it mostly in men, right? So what it means to be emotionally available, right? So when you are emotionally available, it means that you're able to sustain an emotional bond, and you are able to have a continuous connection within your relationship. You are able to have meaningful conversations about feelings, about your experiences, about memories and your different ideas, right? You are open to be emotionally available. It means that you are open, you are honest, you are vulnerable about different situations in your life, different and different difficult feelings that probably come up, and you also can make room for others who have big emotions. That's emotional availability. It means that um, you are able to comfort others when they are going through an emotionally difficult time, and you are willing to discuss feelings openly and honestly, and you can also leave space for your partner or for others to like do the same thing, right? So that is emotional availability, right? So why I'm talking about this is I think this is an important topic, especially for guys. You know, it's impossible to have a healthy relationship without having an emotional connection, right? If you are a dismissive avoidant, or you are emotionally unavailable, you tend to have problems in your romantic relationships often, and you find romantic relationships, you find it really difficult to maintain, right? You shy away from conversations with emotional experiences. You pretend like nothing happened. If something happened and it caused like hurt, usually you don't share your experience, you're not sharing memories, you don't share your ideas, and that being like that would not create an emotional connection with who you want to be in a relationship with, right? When other people display strong emotions, you just find yourself feeling uncomfortable and not being able to deal with it, and people could think that you're uninterested, and they could think that you're unconcerned, and they could think that you're like selfish or self-absorbed or something like that, and that might not be the case, you know. So that's why you have problems in your relationship, because it seems like for the other person in a relationship with you, it seems like there's a lack of investment in your partner, right? Sometimes there's some people who are dismissive avoidance, or they're emotionally unavailable, and sometimes they talk about their life, they talk about their interests on, and they never ask the other person about their experience, about their goals, about their feelings, about their ideas or anything like that, right? Emotional availability is the key to having a healthy relationship. Emotional unavailability tends to create problems, it tends to create toxic relationships, and continuous is the same problems keep coming up over and over. Even if you change partners, you get into a new relationship, You meet someone new, if you're emotionally unavailable, it's like you have the same problems going on and on and on, right? So what makes you emotionally unavailable? So signs that you probably are emotionally unavailable, right? And I did a video a couple months ago talking about signs you are dating an emotionally unavailable guy. In that video, I go into many details about emotional unavailability. So if you're a man, you could watch that to see if you're emotionally unavailable. If you're a woman watching this, you could watch that also to see if you're dating someone who is emotionally unavailable. And I'm going to talk about some of the same signs here and maybe some new ones. So signs that you are emotionally unavailable, or what makes you emotionally unavailable, is that you don't like to make plans. And if you make plans, you show up late, or you blow off the plan like 30 minutes before or 20 minutes before, or you blow people off at the particular time you're supposed to meet up with them. You back out of commitments and you don't make plans, you don't make dates, right? And next thing is that you keep your options open. You avoid being intimate, you avoid commitment. You're like, you might be in a commitment, but then you still like flirt with other people. You still like have different like short-term casual relationships here and there. And next sign is that you tend to not trust people. Maybe you are betrayed in the past and now you just like avoid exposing your vulnerabilities to anyone else. So you shut down. You might change the topic when you're talking too much about deep topics. You might change the topic. You might shy away, and you prefer to keep your emotions locked down, and this obviously just creates a barrier in communication. So you tend not to trust people. You don't really open up. And next sign is that you struggle to have intimate conversations, right? Or you may view, especially men, they view intimacy and open up as a weakness or as a threat to your own emotional security. So you don't have intimate conversations. It's like if your conversations are most of the time is surface level, it's like small talk, it's not leading towards anywhere, it's just like small talk, random surface level conversations. So you tend to struggle to have intimate conversations. And next thing is that even your long-term relationships, your short-term and your long-term relationships, they're very like there's like always like this casual feeling towards your relationship. You're distant. You keep your partners at arm's length. And when things start to get serious and when you start to feel like you're bonding or you're getting close to the person, you just back off. And then you back off when things seem to be getting serious. You ghost or you disappear, you fall off the earth when things start to feel like it's getting too serious. That's a sign you're emotionally unavailable. Next signs is that you don't share your experience, as I mentioned before. You don't share your memories, you don't share your past, you don't share ideas, you don't share your perspective on things. You struggle to share your goals. It's like your goals is private. Your wishes and your hopes and your desires, all of these things you tend to it looks like if it's private. You don't share your past, things you regret, you don't share your wishes. Conversations are like surface level, and doing all of that would not really create emotional connection with your partner. Obviously you have problems if your partner does not feel connected to you, right? It's like you don't ask the person meaningful questions, you don't ask about their feelings, you avoid spending quality time with them. And sometimes when your partner maybe like call you out on some stuff and maybe complain or to you or mention to you that you're closed off or you shut down when this happen, or they feel a distance between you and them, you tend to be defensive and try to like beat around the bush or try to avoid the conversation or create excuses for why you are doing the things you are doing or try to justify your behavior in some way. So you become defensive, right? And when you are with your partner or you're dating someone, the other person most of the time is carrying the conversation. You are not opening conversations. The other person is carrying the conversations and trying to make plans with you and trying to just organize to be with you, and you're not like doing that. So that's a sign you're emotionally unavailable. Another sign, you avoid commitment. You avoid labeling the relationship. You avoid labels. So people tend to not know where they stand. They tend to be confused. They tend to not know if you like them or not. You're in and out. You're hot and cold. You don't label what is going on. Sometimes you don't even. Sometimes you send mixed signals and you are unclear about what you want from them, or sometimes you don't even know what you want from a relationship, right? That's a sign. Another sign is that you struggle to have empathy with others. You struggle to empathize with your partner, and that's because maybe you struggle to even know about your own feelings, because you could probably be repressing your feelings and not in touch with your feelings. So then to empathize with someone might be difficult for you, and you struggle with empathy, right? Another sign is that you're inconsistent. This is a big sign. You take long hours to respond to messages. You take days, sometimes you take weeks to respond to texts. You don't call back. You always claiming that you're busy and so on. You always have some sort of excuse about why you can't call back, why you can't message back. And obviously, if somebody is important to you, or they're your priority or whatever, or this relationship is important to you, most of the time people make time for what is important to them, right? So that's another sign, right? So now, how to increase your emotional availability, right? How to improve this emotional unavailability that you have. How to become, or how to work on your emotional availability. And one of the first things you could do is to feel your own emotions. Get in touch with your emotions. Get in touch with your bodily sensations, so you could understand your feelings. You can understand your emotions. You could understand that your heart start to beat faster when you are upset, or you just need to get in touch with different types of feelings. When you experience different situations in your life, you understand and reflect and get in touch with how you feel, and that will help you to learn empathy. So when somebody else is going through the same thing that you went through, it's easier for you to put yourself in their shoes and understand what they're feeling, right? So that's the first thing. Focus on your emotions, focus on your bodily sensations, get in touch with your own feelings. And the second thing is to learn to have empathy. And if you focus on your emotions and you get in touch with yourself, then you will be able to understand how other people feel and show empathy. So you reflect on your feelings, you reflect on your experiences, and then you try to put yourself in their shoes, so you would know what to say and know how to behave and know how to react when somebody is experiencing something that you probably have experienced. And the next thing is to share your internal emotional world with your partner, right? Stay connected with your partner, share your feelings, share your emotions, share your thoughts about different topics, different situations, share your perspectives on different issues. Just share your inner world, share your emotional world with your partner. Next thing you could do to increase your emotional availability is to learn what a healthy relationship looks like. And you should try to find a couple that has a healthy romantic relationship and see how they interact and see how they move, and talk to them about their relationship, their successful relationship, and see what it looks like to have a healthy relationship with your partner. Next thing is to spend quality time with them. Plan dates to be with them one-on-one, right? It's good to be with them one-on-one, listen to them, give your undivided attention, and just focus on them. Do things, I'm kind of talking like if I'm talking to a man, right? So do things that she likes. Ask about her hobbies and asks about what she likes to do, and you do that, then you plan the date and you be with her one-on-one and spend quality time, and that is where you will be sharing your emotions, asking her questions, and sharing your perspective and sharing your inner emotional world with her one-on-one without distractions, right? Next thing is to just include your partner in decisions, in the decisions that you make. People who are maybe dismissive, avoidant, or they're emotionally unavailable, which you might be, is that you make decisions and you don't consult your partner, right? You should tell them about your goals, tell them about your dreams, tell them about your future, and that will build trust and that will build interdependence. So especially if you are you want to get serious with the commitment and move the relationship forward, you should be sharing your future, your goals, so you guys could plan together. Next thing you could do is have some self-compassion, have some self-compassion in that. Remember that it's because maybe your childhood, maybe your parents, they dismiss your feelings, maybe your parents was hard on you and you had to become independent really quick at a young age, and maybe you weren't allowed to show feelings, or maybe you reach out for connection and they probably were tough on you, and so on and so forth. Or maybe you were in this toxic relationship and they cheated on you and now you're emotionally unavailable. It's just to have compassion on yourself and just to understand why you are the way you are, and then take accountability for like your actions today and who you are now, and then you could move forward and be better using this video. So the next thing you could do to increase your emotional availability is to talk to people you trust about your emotions. Start to get accustomed to talking about feelings and to talking about your emotions with somebody you trust, so it wouldn't feel foreign to you or weird to you when you are talking to your partner. Or you could use your partner and just start talking about intimate conversations, right? Start talking about your feelings, start talking about your emotions. Next thing to do, and this is the last thing I have on the list, is to expand your feelings vocabulary. Some people, especially men, all they know is like happy, sad, horny. That's all they know, happy, sad. Like, you need to know different, you need to expand your feelings vocabulary. So I will just give you some different words here, from negative feelings, and then I'll give you some positive emotions. So different words you can use for negative feelings. Maybe they express an unfortunate situation to you and you want to like show that you have empathy, or you want to show that you listen attentively, or you want to show that you understand what they're feeling. Different negative feelings could be they feel dismissed, they feel ignored. They might be telling you that they feel ignored, or they feel abandoned, or they feel neglected with you, especially if you're emotionally unavailable. Or they could feel exposed, or they felt insulted at work, or they felt forgotten about, or alone, betrayed, offended. They felt betrayed in their past relationship, or they feel offended, or they feel judged. They could feel belittled. These are some negative feelings. Helpless, overpowered, stressed, overwhelmed, left out, rage, anxious, humiliated, gaslighted, attacked, embarrassed, fearful, lonely, annoyed, disgust, shame. Those are some negative emotions, right? Those that could help you to expand your feelings vocabulary. So some positive emotions is like joy, love, satisfaction, amusement, happy, everybody know that, contentment, exciting, grateful, hopeful, inspired, pride, cheerful, they feel passionate about something, curious, surprised, attractive, or thankful, grateful. Those are just some positive emotions, right? So this video was made to help people who are emotionally unavailable, and now you know what what being emotionally unavailable means, and then now you will know if you're that or not. You know what emotional availability is now, and now you know where it probably came from. You should really introspect and reflect and see where this emotional unavailability came from. Maybe it's your childhood, maybe it's some past relationship, maybe it's your culture, maybe it was because you grew up to be a man and you had to like mask your emotions and be tough. Yeah, and now you learn about the things you could do to become emotionally available, especially if you're in a relationship and this relationship is important to you and you want it to work and you want to move the relationship forward and get a more serious commitment and maybe lead to marriage. You would have a lot of problems if you are dismissive, avoidant, or if you are emotionally unavailable. Know that you will always have problems in your romantic relationships. You will always experience difficulty with connection, and you will always have problems forming a bond with your partner. Your partner, especially if you're a man, you're emotionally unavailable, you will keep having the same problems in your relationship. Maybe you change partner, maybe you're in a new relationship. You would notice that it's the same complaints you're having because you're emotionally unavailable. They might complain, especially if you're a man, the woman is complaining that she don't feel heard because you might not listen attentively. She don't feel seen. She don't feel you listen actively. She don't feel desired. She don't feel important. She don't feel like she's a priority. She don't feel respected. She feel taken for granted and all of these things. Or she might think that you're selfish. She might think that you're cold, you're standoffish, you're unconcerned about her, about the relationship. These are like normal complaints you will get if you're a man and you're emotionally unavailable or if you have a dismissive, avoidant attachment style, right? So you need to reflect and recognize that maybe no matter if you get with a different person or you change your relationship, you keep getting the same complaints about not being heard and not being seen and not being appreciated, and you don't plan dates and many things. Same complaints even if you change your partner. So I hope this video is helpful. I hope it was helpful. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something new, especially if you're a man. Most men are emotionally unavailable. Some women could be too, but what I see, most men are emotionally unavailable, and they have problems with the connection and the bonding in romantic relationships, and they continue to have difficulty when it comes to creating that emotional bond with their woman. So I hope this video is helpful, and like the video if you like this content, subscribe if you want to, and see you in the next video.